manufacturing, technology, hot topics, and a little bit of tomfoolery. This is the MTD Podcast.
So welcome to MTD CNC's podcast. Today we are here at Star GB in Derby. We're at their open house. Gio, what episode is this? I've
lost track. I reckon it's Series 2, Episode 4, but don't quote me on that.
It'll be on the title tag anyway. Now, we're here at the Star GB open house. This is going to be quite a fast-paced podcast. We've invited a few people on to speak with us, the first of which is with us here, Nigel Finn from Finn Precision in Ireland. Nigel, welcome to MTD's podcast.
Thank you very much.
Welcome,
Thank
Nigel.
you. Glad to be here.
So you are here at the Star GB open house, travelled over the water to get here.
Yeah.
Been here, just today or yesterday as well?
No, we flew in last night and we stayed just down the road, so we're just here for the morning now. So we've never been here before, so we have a few Star machines back at home.
Guinness is good in hotels over here as it is back there?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No, we'll have to sort that out. All right. So no, it's been very good to see the latest technology and what's on show, because we haven't been here before. A few of the lads have been over to do some training and that, but it's nice to just see what's on offer and what's going on.
So the story here at Finn Precision, Nigel, this is one of the reasons we wanted to get you onto the podcast, because you're a new user to Star's sliding head lathe technology. Previously fixed head machines in your company.
Yeah.
But a change of tactic. Why was that?
Yeah, I suppose it's like everything else. We had all fixed head machines, and you can get a wee bit kind of tunnel vision at times. You're just carrying on, and you think you're doing things right and correctly, and you see different technology and how it's working. So we had a lot of stuff half finished, and a lot of second operations been done, and people stand at machines loading parts in one at a time. So obviously price pressure and everything else, So
were you facing that? Because often it's the customer is looking for cost down.
Absolutely. Like there's nobody's going to be silly enough to tell you they're not facing any price pressure, So we're all facing that, and even just for efficiencies on your own side, and ease of management, instead of having parts coming off half finished and sitting around in boxes and trying to trace them with quality and everything else. So we looked around to see what we could do, and Steve came over and seen us from Star, and basically it was effectively a no-brainer. Like when they kind of took over the whole role and took some of our parts with them, set them up on machines, and showed us how quickly they could be done. That was the selling point.
I mean, it's a big investment, so there was a lot of trust from your end, Nigel.
Absolutely, yeah. You can buy a sliding head machine of any company around the world, but I suppose it's the feel you get from here that you're not going to be just left sitting. You buy a machine and that's it, you're on your own. So we had a whole package that effectively we bought the machine. Some of our programming was already done for us on the machine over here. A few of our operators came over, our programmers came over here, and were training for a week. And then when they came back...
Did they find it hard? Did they pick it up quickly?
Yeah, we were very worried about that, that they were only ever worked on fixed head machines and some milling as well, but they'd never worked sliding heads, never even seen sliding heads before, So, but no, the guys here at Star took it really slowly at the start, and they've taken to it well,
So for you though, you hadn't been here before. So no. Am I taking it that you hadn't seen one of their machines before you purchased it?
No.
Or really?
No. I've seen the catalogues, I've seen everyone else, and Steve came over and took one of our guys down to a company about 2 hours drive away from us, and he went and seen it. And he came back and he goes, yeah, look, this looks like a machine for us. So we just took the plunge and went for it,
Yes, I've spoken to you earlier, and predominantly your work is turning, but now this has opened up new marketplaces with the milling capability. Is that correct, Nigel?
No, absolutely, yeah. So we only initially took on with work that we were doing on our fixed heads and put it onto the sliding heads, and we could do it obviously faster, and more efficiently. But when customers got to know then that you had the capabilities of the sliding heads, so we're actually getting specific work in for sliding heads that we couldn't have taken on but if we only had the fixed head machine. So not only have we improved the existing work we were doing, we've got new work on the back of it,
You've bought two, so from the time you bought your first to your second, what was the time difference?
Just 12 months.
12 months. Wow. So you took the leap of faith, and with 12 months, you bought a second.
Yeah, well, Steve said to us when we were buying the machine, he said, I'll put a bet on you. He says that within 12 months you'll have a second one. And we can, no, definitely not. Sheffield United getting promoted, I think, or something like that. But
I bet it wasn't much value to it. Probably a game at Sheffield United or something like that.
I think that speaks for itself, doesn't it? And I mean, you're here today, so am I guessing that you're looking to buy a third?
We'd be considering it, all right, yeah. So obviously depending on work and everything else, but we'd have absolutely no hesitation or reservations about buying them, because just to back up on the I suppose it's kind of the family feel you get from Star. It's not an anonymous company where you don't know who anybody is, you know what I mean? Like, you'd have anybody from on the phone here that needs to get the job done. It's just basically the job gets done, you know, that kind of way. That's what we like about it.
Tell us a little bit about your company, Finn Precision, because be interested to know what you do, what you're making, industries you're working for, and a little bit about the I mean, whereabouts in Ireland are you? Yeah,
we're in a small town called Carrickmacross in County Monaghan. It's about 20 kilometres from the border. So Brexit being a major issue, but we'll not get into that today.
Is it going to be a hard one or a soft one?
Jesus, at this stage I don't care anymore. You know, it's just do something. So we started off really as an off-farm enterprise. That was the plan, just with some manual machines, manual lathes, and just kind of your name spreads. And we bought our first CNC in 2004. And we just built from there, really, you know. So we don't specialise in any one particular area. We do some aerospace work, some pharmaceutical work, some plastics work. We try and keep it spread out as much as we can in any industry, wherever we can make a pound, basically. I
mean, joking aside, though, the Brexit issue could be, you know, you could capitalise on that in Ireland, couldn't you, with you being...
No, well, we export a lot to Northern Ireland and to the UK, so it could be detrimental to us in the long run if it doesn't go well. The problem is, the minute nobody knows, you know. Yeah. So
the market sectors we spent a fair bit of time in Ireland this year. Very big in the medical area, but aerospace is coming on quite strong as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be growing all the time, you know. So. It's definitely one for the future. Again, depending on Brexit, but something's going to have to be worked out on that front, you know. So the pharmaceutical one is growing too, and then the one we find growing is the renewable technologies. Seems to be a big grower now, you know, because everything coming out now, government initiatives, is all green technology, and you know.
Nigel, you're talking about these concerns, but you know, would these concerns be even greater now if you hadn't invested in this latest technology? Is it made you more competitive? Is it kind of took away a little bit of them concerns?
Absolutely, yeah. Like, there's no doubt about it. We'd be confident enough now to compete in any market now because of this. You know, before this, you always had the thing in the back of your head. You know, somebody could come in with sliding head technology in another company and blow you out of the water on price and delivery and that. So we'd be confident now. You're kind of taking the man-hour out of the job, if you know what I mean, because you can run lights out and that kind of stuff, you know. So there's been a wee bit of a mindset change, as in you don't have anybody standing with a machine. They're kind of setting machines, moving on to the next one, more quality control than actual, you know, machinery.
I think it's evident from not just talking to yourself, but the open house here this week that, you know, we don't want to talk too in detail about the politics of what's happening at the moment, but industry is moving. You know, industry is keeping going, and you know, your investment just shows that.
You have to, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's been 3 years now since we spoke about Brexit first, and if we had to wait, seeing what was going to happen, we'd probably be left in the dark ages at this stage, you know. Like, so you have to just motor on and get on with it, you know. That's the bottom line.
Let's finish this one, Nigel. If you had to look at the success of the installations of the machines from all levels, from the support, the service, the technology that you thought you were getting and what you did get, where would you score it out of 10?
There's no 10 out of 10. 100%. I have absolutely no complaints whatsoever about the quality of the service and the product we get. You know,
and where your business is now to what you expected, same sort of.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's completely revolutionised the way we work. You know, it's completely changed the face of our business. You know, and it's opened up new markets to us that we didn't think were possible before that.
Certainly seeing here the automation and the new SX and all of that.
Yeah. Like, and that's the good thing about it. It's constantly moving, you know, like, and it's constantly keeping you up to date. Like, and before this, you were kind of maybe a wee bit under a rock kind of a thing, you know. So it's good.
Well, good. I'm really pleased that you could join us, Nigel.
Yeah, well, thanks very much.
Thanks, Nigel.
When are you heading back?
In about a half an hour.
Okay, well,
Thanks very much, Liz.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on the show. So that was interesting, Gio, wasn't it? Hear from Nigel there and the overseas market really, and the confidence he's got to invest in the tech without seeing it.
Yeah, I think that we've spoken to him, and effectively what he's saying is if he'd have stopped still, you're effectively moving backwards. Through his investment, he's kind of become the master of his own destiny. No matter what happens in the world, no matter what happens, he's got that new technology now, and he can be competitive all around the world now. Andrew, thank you very much for joining us on this podcast. Now, can you tell us where you work and that, Andrew, and what you do?
I work at Armeg Limited. I've worked there for the past 6 years now, and I am a development engineer. I do a lot in sort of the programming side, so most of the different CNC machines. I do mostly FANUC now, just sort of all the new jobs that they want to make, any ideas they've got, I sort of say yeah if it's possible, no if it's not possible, and if it is possible then go ahead and program it. So
I've been speaking to you earlier. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but you're responsible for all the programming on the new Star 38.
Absolutely.
Now tell me about the transition from tell us firstly what were you programming before, and the transition between what you were programming and now the programming of the Star, and how it's changed your business.
So originally, before our new SR38, I didn't really do much programming in FANUC. I am fairly new to that. I did mostly on VMC, so that'd be Heidenhain, and a little bit on our Mazak as well, so obviously Mazatrol. But now, with us getting the SR38, they said they wanted me to sort of take over that side of it. So I came to Star and I did my training over 4 days in FANUC using their NC Assist program. And it's going really good. The transition's massive, going from as old 20-year-old SVs to a brand new SR38. Obviously it's a completely different ball game, and like I say, I was new to FANUC system anyway, but it's going really well. And it's
how skilled do you think you have to be, Andy, to pick up and operate and program one of these machines? Are the improvements or the enhancements in the software really taking some of the hard work and the headaches and the skill out of it? When you look at a sophisticated machine like the SR38, there are things to consider, collisions and worries and all that.
When you've sort of got two heads making two completely different components, so you've obviously got to take that into consideration. It's a little bit of both worlds, really. I mean, like I say, the Star NC Assist software does make it easier. It does what it says. It assists you. It tells you where you're going wrong, where you're going right. So there's all that side to it.
Does it optimise it as well? Does it give you, let's say you look at a part and it's 36 seconds to make it. Does it kind of, change movements, miss out movements in order to get that?
Doesn't. You are still in control of that. It more assists you in terms of the G&M codes, telling you what the G&M codes do, and then once you get it on the machine, it'll tell you if you've got a code missing. You can go back to your Star NC Assist, see what that code is.
Firstly, how long have you been programming on the new Star?
2 months.
And are you actually producing components off it already?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I mean, you've picked it up very quickly then.
I've done all right.
Yeah, and how many axes has the SR38 got?
To be honest, I couldn't even tell you that.
It's multiple axis that you're operating all up.
You've obviously got your platina tooling, you've got your two heads, and ours is the Type B, so you've got the B axis as well that you can use.
Fully programmable
on the Type B.
So you've probably got about 9 axis there, I would imagine. Now, you've picked it up in 2 months, you're producing parts. How's this benefited your company? Not you as a person, but the company. Has this changed the way in which, has it made you more productive, more efficient?
Massively, but definitely more efficient in several terms, to be honest. The main thing is the parts we make are quite complex parts.
What are they? Give us a...
It's sort of, it's like drive pins. We're going into dust-free drilling a lot recently. So the complex parts, you need to slot, you need to mill, obviously you need to turn, deep hole drill, bore.
Are you saving operations then now?
It could take, you sort of like, you turn it on the SV, then you'd need to mill it on a separate machine, slot it on a separate machine, you'd then need to take it to be shanked. It's got deep hole drilling. You'd have to do that manually.
So the savings are massive then, aren't they?
And like I say, it can do all that in one hit. So the cycle time might be a bit longer, but you're cutting everything else out. You're no longer having to... it goes to a machine and that machine's tied up, so you're waiting a day and you get it on that machine. It's just all in one hit, comes off straight off the machine complete.
What about scrappage compared to how you were doing it before? You must have encountered, with all of those different operations, you must have encountered
all the setting time though, it must be saving.
Issues.
Absolutely. I would say the machine itself, it seems to be a really accurate machine. It keeps in tolerances. The only scrap now we really have is if I program something wrong. That's my bad lie.
I just wanted to go back to a point I was talking about the optimisation. I believe we're going to have someone from representing Start on here shortly, but I believe there is a feature or a function somewhere in the control which will do what I said. So, you will create the program using NC Assist, and then I think there is something in the software that will streamline just to make sure you are optimising it to the maximum. Not sure what it's called. I'm sure someone will clear it up. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but I just wanted to put that point across. So your business, is it a subcontract company or is it your own products?
It's a mixture, I would say. It's a little bit about. We have his own range of products, and we do stuff for other companies as well, of course.
And how many people have you got there? How many employees roughly?
Good question. I would guess at 50.
Oh wow,
so quite a big something like that. I would thought between 40 and 50.
Yeah. Quite a sizable company. Where are you based?
Drumfield. It is. I mentioned Drumfield.
That's not far from Sheffield, is it?
It's not. It's right next to it.
And is business good at the moment?
At the minute, it's too busy.
That's fantastic.
Too busy at the minute, which you can't complain about. Obviously, it gets very stressful, but much rather have it that way, wouldn't you?
Just finally from yourself, Andy, highlights here today at this show?
It's brilliant, really. It gets me out a day at uni, obviously. But no, joking apart, see all the new machines and the robots as well. It's all new. You've got to keep with the times. It's so important to keep with the times. If you don't sort of make investments, you fall behind, and then it's over.
Just exactly what we've just said. And I just want to finalise, really. Has it been a game changer for your business?
Massively, 100%. Like I say, doing so many jobs in one hit, and we'll be able to sort of in time come out with new products and just keeping with the times, like I say.
HFT, have you used that?
We've got HFT installed and we use it a lot, and it doesn't eliminate the problem of swarf, but it really, really does help. It allows for jobs where you could never have dreamed of running through the night before because of the problem of swarf, and suddenly you can. It slows down the cycle time, obviously, but if that means you can produce all night and all day, it's well worth it, isn't it?
It's a no-brainer.
Good stuff. We'll let you go and grab a sandwich, mate. I know you're hungry.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we're now joined by Matt Lee, representing Star GB. Matt, you cover the southwest region, don't you?
Yes.
As the business manager or sales guy.
Yeah. Sales, yeah.
How's the week been for you? I mean, we've spoken to a few of your customers. They seem very impressed. Been a good time.
Yeah, good week really, because people have made the effort to travel from the southwest, because it's a long way to come to Derby. That's for sure.
Yeah, you must be. Coupled with your northern guy, it must be the most difficult to get people, out of their factories at such a, when businesses are busy, and to come here to look at machines. Do you find it tough?
Yeah, it is, because it's a good couple hundred miles to get up here. I had one of my customers from Devon come up yesterday, so it's a long old trek.
Any deals done? Always a big, one of the topics or one of the points of these events is not just to do deals because you want the interest, but anything good happened?
Yes, there's a lot of good things in development, put it that way.
From talking to the guys here as well, I think some of the highlights have been the bits that we pointed out before the event and we showcased, like the robotics and the automation and the SX. But specifically, let's touch on that SX. It's going to be some seller for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an absolute monster of a machine. I mean, you look at the capability of it, the power. There's a lot of good things going for it, the layout of it. I had good feedback from customers that are liking layout for loading it.
Well, that's one of your favourites, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that, when I seen that machine today, Matt, I was talking to you about that machine, the build quality, the weight, the rigidity, the B-axis with 8 spindles, and then you've also got your modular capability to add even more if you wish to do so. I think that it really, and the 11 watt kilowatt spindles on main and second, I think it really, is there anything that it can't really do apart from, the only limitations I can see is the size of component.
Yeah, size of component, as long as you can pick it up on the sub spindle and you've got enough tools to do the job, there's not much you can't throw at it.
Exactly that. That's exactly how. But it's just phenomenal bit of kit.
When these machines are being developed, I mean, there's some kind of think tank that says, what do they do? Do they take a part and go, right? We need to make this machine make this part as easily and as quickly as possible. I mean, do you ever get involved in the development of machines and the research?
Our engineers do, because a couple of times a year you'll find that some of the key staff from the different countries they'll go back to Japan and they'll have the technical meetings, so there's a lot of information transferred around, conversations on how to do things differently, and they'll come back with solutions and say, how about this? And so it's
because the power element has come up on a couple of occasions as well today, talking to your customers, the fact that as a result of the machines becoming more robust and powerful, they are lending themselves to applications where they would have previously done them on fixed head machines. So this must have been a target area for Star as well.
Yeah, we're certainly seeing that kind of that area now where we're touching on the smaller end of like the fixed head work. But not only that, we're seeing customers like transferring smaller milled work onto the machines and basically using the machine as a bar fed milling machine.
Yeah, I mean, if you were still selling your work holding Geo, you might struggle on VMC.
I'd never struggle.
Everyone would be buying sliding head lathes.
I'd never struggle. However, I think it's a fantastic solution to make prismatic parts, and exactly what you just said, feeding prismatic parts through and milling them, no matter what material. And not only in higher volume as well. I think, I look at a sector, say, for the aerospace industry, for example, where you've got family of components that repeat every month, maybe a 10 off, 20 off, but that they repeat every month, they might be made out of the same material. You could effectively have 20, 30 programs stored in your machine tool, and you could be, selecting whatever parts, run 20 off complete, 6-sided work that maybe in the past you would have made in 6 operations, and you're not restricted with a machine like that, with the power and the torque on what material you're going to cut. It's going to cut through it like butter.
Yeah.
And the geometrical tolerances as well, from doing it in one operation rather than 6 and moving that part around. The savings, you must have done some ROIs on it. The savings must be astronomical.
He's good at sales, isn't he?
Yeah.
He could that was
when does he start?
That's like a pitch in itself. Tell me, Matt, about the a question on the slant bed. The SX is a slant bed. Obviously, some of the other machines aren't. What's the benefit to that?
I think really it's like the layout. As you see, it's a lot of machine on quite a compact footprint as well. And you obviously got a rigidity of those spindles and everything else that's in there. You aim for doing big heavy work and not taking up a lot of not taking up a lot of space.
Because they're very heavy as well. Under that SX, how heavy is that?
5 tons.
Wow. Wow.
That is a big beefy machine, and you can use the B-axis. And I know it's hard for people because they'll be listening to this as opposed to seeing it. But if they do know what a B-axis is, and they obviously will know what a turret is, you can use these in conjunction with each other on both the front and the back spindle. Is that the?
Yes. Yeah. You got spindles on, for front and rear work. So yeah, you can do angled components, angled features on the sub spindle as well.
And what about balance turning?
Yes, because you've got the turret and you've got turning tools either side, you can do balance turning. You can do some pretty complex machining.
Matt, have you found, with all these technological advancements over the years that, we keep coming to this open house year after year, and every year there's new technological advancements with the machine tool, the hardware, are you finding that it's opening up new markets for you as a company? Historically you would always associate sliding head work with predominantly just turn parts, but now you're looking at prismatic parts, etc. Is that the case?
Yeah, absolutely, because now we've got machines in the range that we can go to market. So, look, We know what the machines can do. We've got customers pushing the envelope as well as like, what else can we put on these machines? It's basically like save time and money on the jobs.
The machine shops in your area, when you look at the geographics, like Gio said, maybe 15, 20 years ago, you'd have a database of, I don't know, 200-300 companies that really were your focus. That's all out the window now then, I suppose, isn't it? That database is as many machine shops as there are.
Pretty much, and it'll be down to like education to the customer as well, because a lot of people don't really realise what the machines can do, and you don't need the massive volume to run these machines. Those days are gone now. There's not many people chasing after like a million off like runs of parts. I mean, that's like your dream ticket, but you got do it in small batches because that's what
flexibility. But there's more value in smaller batches as well. Each individual part is worth more. So if you've got that flexibility, like say, if you've got the same material parts, family of parts, but slightly different features, you could bar feed them through prismatic part. Each individual part is worth more if you were doing a 20 off than if you were doing 10,000 off. So you can start to kind of, if you could strategically plan or knew what kind of work that was coming through the door, or even better, if you were making your own components, it's like a money printing machine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's have a look at this part here. And again, for the camera, we will, if you are watching or listening to this on YouTube, you will be able to see this part. Just tell us, Matt, what's gone into this and what parts are made on what machines? Because it's a hell of an assembly and it's a fantastic giveaway.
Yeah,
I've been wanting a screwdriver for a long time.
Let's get one for myself. So, various components. We've got this long component here. So it's been done on the SB machine. So long parts, sorry, get used to this. So you've got a long part here, so it's made in one hit. So
how long would it take to turn that? And because you're using a support unit for the ejection of it as well, aren't you?
Yeah, so we've got a long parts ejection on the machine, so this will go through the sub spindle. Cycle time is roughly 5 minutes. Now, you can't really see it here, but there's actually a lot of detail on the engraving here, and that actually takes quite a bit of time. And the material itself is quite tough to machine.
Again, important, what we're looking at here is a part. How long would you say that is? About
it's
150 mil long?
150 millimetres roughly.
Diameter 10 mil?
10,
yeah, 10 mil diameter. So quite a long component, which you wouldn't normally eject out of the normal parts ejection system, would you? Because it's too big.
Yeah, it's too long.
So you've got what they class as a support unit on the end, which is now handling this component, isn't it? Which is one of the solutions on show.
That's it. And there's customers doing some very long parts. I know we've got customers machining up to 2 metre long shafts.
Really?
In one hit.
We mentioned Paleton earlier, didn't we? They're doing very long shafts.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility. Wow. How do you sort of keep? I know the sliding head format, but the concentricity of the part and the precision between both ends when you're doing something that long.
To hold the tolerances really well. I mean, obviously the stock material is going to have a factor in that as well, and obviously what you're machining. But I think for the likes of Paleton, keep on rechucking the material through the machine, and also the gear hobbing as well that you saw. It's components coming off in one hit.
And is gear hobbing something that people are embracing now too? Because we see that on fixed head machines and multitasking machines. But are we talking about that on sliders too now?
Well, it's been around on sliders for a while, to be fair. So it's great for doing like the small gear work, but not everyone's doing it. Some people have like their own bespoke gear hobbing machines, depending on what kind of gear form they want to do.
Yeah, it's down to one hit, I suppose. Yeah. Finally, from me, Matt, materials. Any material too hard for these machines?
Not enough to.
And what examples would you have of people doing things in tricky materials?
Yeah, so I think nowadays we're finding with the HFT software and with high pressure coolant, you're getting some materials that are a lot easier to manage nowadays than they ever used to be. So for instance, something like the steels like 316, I've got a customer even working with some grade of titanium where in the past you'd get for your birds nesting galore on the tools, which have to stop the machine, which is a downtime, it's not making money. Yeah. So now those problems are getting alleviated from all this technology.
And what is Schmoozy?
Schmoozy is our remote monitoring software. So it's not just for stars, it's for FANUC controlled machines. So it's not So if you've got a machine shop where you've got your stars, with me you've got some fixed heads and some other machines that are running off FANUC control, we can pick up on the signals on that and monitor those machines as well.
When you say monitor, so you can measure obviously the output of the machine, what it's doing. Just elaborate a little bit on.
Yeah, so it's like you said, you can plan your work, you can see the cycle times, you can see how much has gone through the machine at the time. So great for planning point of view. You've also got error reporting, so any alarms that come up are all recorded on there as well. And we've got customers in the field who are actually using like the in-cycle probing. Obviously that cell takes it to a different level where you're taking out the machine, so you're not interrupting the cycle, so you're still putting the parts out, but you're not having to interrupt the machine. Now, I've got a couple of customers running the probing systems in there, and on one machine the customer's checking the sub-spindle because it's got a tight tolerance on one part, but he's getting the sub-spindle to repeat to less than 2 microns.
Really?
Yeah, so for his process, especially for overnight running, you're not going to lose any sleep over it.
I wonder whether I know the keys to your success lay in 2 areas, or probably a few areas actually. One is your support. I've got to say, we've both said here, talking to your customers, they have nothing but good things to say about if there is a problem. You pick up the phone, not just you, but the company. You get out, you fix the issues, but the machines don't often need that. They're very, very reliable. I think that's one of the keys. The second has to be the team that you've got here. But thirdly, for me, I think it's this level of technology that's coming on now. You are eroding you're getting into new markets, which is giving you better opportunities. So that's why more machines are selling.
Yeah.
That's not a bad sales job as well, isn't it? That's me and you.
Yeah. Anytime you guys want to help me out, don't mind.
We'll come down Southwest. I know we're due to come down and visit some of your customers like we did a year or 2 ago, and I look forward to it, Matt, because it is. We're going to stay in that. Was it a castle again we stayed in last time? Was it like a big old hotel?
It was like a big old manor house.
Big old manor house. Yeah. He paid, so that was the main
thing.
Well, at least I think you did. But no, Matt, thank you very much for joining us today on this podcast.
Thank you.
And good luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Again, that's it from Star GB, from their open house. It's been a great week here. I've got to say, they have this once a year, this open house. In fact, sometimes more than once a year, but always generally in October. Definitely worth putting that on your calendar for next year, because I'm sure there'll be plenty of advancements in the technology over the course of the next 12 months as well, especially with Matt coming up. Thank you very much, Matt. And that's it for this week's podcast. Thanks, Gio.
Cheers, Paul.